Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. First trades here from Futures Trading Factory. This morning, I am going to be going over the criteria for fresh 15 and 30-minute zones. Fresh 15 and 30-minute zones are a huge part of my trading strategy and my trading success. So, getting into this, let's go ahead and get started. A zone is created at peaks and valleys, as well as rally base rally or drop base drop areas, right? So you got your peaks, right? So you also got your valleys, and then you got your rally base rally, and your drop base drop. So right here is where your zones are going to be created. Right here is where your zones are going to be created. Right here is where your zones are going to be created. And right here is where your zones are going to be created. So let's go ahead and get more into this. What makes it fresh is not having a candle body or wick touch the zone. For supply zones, we are looking for a small candle body, a small buy candle body, followed by a huge sell candle, where the sell candle body is at least double the size of the previous buy candle body. For demand zones, we are looking for a small sell candle body followed by a huge buy candle, where the buy candle body is at least double the size of the previous sell candle body. For the base zones, we are looking for the pause candle that happens in a rally or drop. For me personally, I'm only looking for that initial retest to take a position. Once the zone gets that first retest, the zone is no longer valid for me. You will see if you go back and back test, we will be going through zones here in a minute, but if you go back and back test these zones, there will be times where you'll see that initial retest will get you, I don't know, let's just say even 10, 20, 30 points, right? And then it comes back and stops you out at break even. It retests that zone for a second time and it may go 100 points. I've seen it happen. There's different ways you can play it. For me personally, my highest probability for my trade to work out is going to always be that initial retest to that zone touch. Zones are created on the 15 and sometimes 30-minute time frame, but my entries are on the 2-minute time frame. So what is the RR? What is the risk to reward for this strategy? For me, I use a 1-to-1 risk reward. However, I know that my strategy works out more times than not in both back testing and live testing. And that I will always take my first trim at the 1-to-1 and leave runners. I have back tested this strategy. Oh my God. I mean, so many times. And then I've been trading this strategy for the last year and a half, 2 years, and have found great success with it. Depending on volatility, my risk will range from 15 to 20 points max. So if the trade has me at a 15-point risk, I will take my first trim at 15 points. Typically, it's a 10-point risk with first trim at 10 points, and then I'll move my stops at break even after I take my first trim. Please keep in mind this video is only covering fresh 15 and 30-minute zones. I do use other confluences to take my trades, but wanted to show how well these fresh zones work. For those that are in my trading community, know that these zones are the foundation to my trading strategy. If you are not in our trading Discord and if you would like to learn more, check us out at Futures Trading Factory. So we are on the 15-minute time frame, and instead of me, just going back right to finding a solid week or days to show you or whatever, I'm literally using this week's price action from Sunday right here, Sunday, March 16th, all the way to Friday. So this is on the 15-minute time frame. And before I go down to the 2-minute, I'll walk you through how these zones were created. So, as I previously said, like this zone, I took it from this bottom wick to the top of this last cell candle body, right? And then we had, you could tell that this buy candle, make sure you guys can see this. You can tell that this buy candle, right, is double the size, at least double the size of this last cell candle body. I don't care about the wick. I don't need this candle body to be double the size of the wick. I'm only looking for the at the candle bodies. However, I am using the bottom of the wick, even if the wick on this buy candle was longer than this sell candle body or this sell candle wick. I would use whatever wick is lower. So, and then I'm looking for that retest. So as soon as we come down for the retest of the zone would be your entry to go long, right? And as you can see, we came down, we got a nice bounce, whatever. Same thing for right here. You can see this sell candle body is at least double the size of this previous buy candle body, right? So because the wick for the sell candle body was taller than the buy candle wick, that's the top of the zone. And then the bottom of that last buy candle is the bottom of the zone. So same thing right here. You can see from wick to the top of the last sell candle body, this buy candle body was at least double the size. So what this is we had a huge price movement away, right, from previous price action. So looking forward, going forward, I'm expecting there to still be buy orders sitting here when we come back and retest this zone. As you can see on this next 15-minute buy candle, they pushed down, right? Sellers pushed it down. As soon as they hit the zone right here, buyers bought it right back up. So as you can see, like I said, I went through uh, every zone you will notice, right? Like for instance, this buy candle body wick was lower than the last sell candle body, right? So I took it from the wick to the top of that last sell candle body. So we had a huge price movement up, right? From right here. And then when we came back, you're looking for that first retest of the zone. I'm really hoping that this is making sense and it's a clear explanation. Same thing, even right here, you can see that this sell candle body was double the size of this buy candle body, right? So looking for the first retest, you're looking to go short, right? And I'll go down to the 2 minute and we'll go through each of these zones that were created this week. And we'll see how many of them worked out and how many of them didn't. So, real quick, before we go to the 2 minute, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So just in this week alone, we had 29 15-minute zones, fresh 15-minute zones that were created. So let's go ahead and go to the 2 minute. And out of those 29 zones, let's go see how many times the strategy would have worked. So here's Sunday. Let's go ahead and stretch this out. All right. So here's zone number one. And you can see right here is where the zone was created, right? So as soon as we came down to here, there's where your entry would have been to the zone, right? Your entry would have been 778. would have got a 10-point trim on that, right? So this zone worked out, right? Right here, you can see this is where this zone was created. Coming over here, here's your entry at the touch of the zone. Right here at 822 would have been your entry, and it went as far as 801. So right there, you would have got a nice 20 points. Definitely would have got a trim off, and then you would have stopped out on your runners at break even. Right here, you can tell this is where the zone was created. This is the retest right here on your entry. So your entry would have been at the touch of the zone at 782. And honestly, I mean, you would have got easily over 100 plus points on that. So another great example. Going on to the next zone, you can see this is where the zone was created. We're looking for that retest of the zone. Here's the retest right here. Entry would have been 883, and you would have easily got way over 100 points. Another great example. So moving on to the next one. Here, right here, is where your zone was created. And entry would have been right here at 923. Drawdown would have been about 17 points, right? But if your entry was at 923, you would have captured a move just under 100 points. Moving on to the next zone. This is where the zone was created. This is the retest. Your entry would have been right here at the touch of the zone at 996, and you would have got stopped out. So this is the first zone that did not work out. So moving on. Here we go. This is where the next zone was created. Here's your entry. Here's your entry right here at the touch of the zone. 981. You would not have gotten a trim on this one. You would have got stopped out on that one. So far, two zones did not work. So moving forward, here is where the next zone was created. Let's go. Let's see. This zone got tested. So you can see right here is where you would have got in at the entry. Entry would have been 904. Definitely would have been able to get a trim off before getting stopped out. So far, we've only had two zones that did not work. And right here, you can tell this is where the zone was created. Here was your entry right here on this retest. Entry would have been 673. And 60 points? Would have got a nice 60 points off of that. Moving on to the next. Zone was created right here. And entry would have been at the touch of the zone. What's the top right there? 673. 687. You would have got at least a 15-point trim. before getting stopped out at break even. But you can also see this is what I was talking about. It came in for the second test of it, and they got the bigger move on that second test. That's fine with me. I'm okay. I know from all the times that I've traded this strategy that my best opportunity is going to be uh, catching that first initial retest of it. So here's where your zone was created. Entry would have been at the touch of the zone. Let's see, 731, 715, 19 point drawdown. Depending on confluences, I don't know that I would have stayed in this trade. Let's see, what was that entry? 731, 716, 16-point move. Yeah, we'll just count it as it didn't work. We'll just say that even though it could have worked out, we'll just count it that it didn't work. So we're down to 3 zones that haven't worked out yet. Moving forward. Oops. Okay, yeah. Moving forward. This is where the zone was created. Your entry would have been right here at the touch of this zone. Entry would have been 684, 697. Definitely would have got a trim off there. Moving forward, this is where the zone was created. Here's the retest of the zone. Oops. Entry would have been 760, and you could have just literally rode that down. Another great example. Zone was created. Here you would have got stopped out. So we're at 4 zones not working. Here the zone was created. Here's where your entry would have been, right here at the test of the zone. 721, 15-point drawdown. Would have been able to catch well over 100, couple hundred points. Here's where your zone was created. Here's your entry at the test of the zone. Entry 828. And you can see it went well over 100 points. Moving on to the next. Here's where your 15-minute zone was created. Here was your entry. Literally tapped the zone at 897. And definitely would have got max close to 90 points is what you would have got on that one. Moving on to the next. Here's where your zone was created. See, you can see just from going over the zones. I don't know why this zone didn't go all the way. You can see that right here, this one did not work out. It would have got stopped out. So we're at 5 zones not working out. Moving on to the next. Here's your next zone. And here's your entry right here. 20,037. Max got hit 40 points, close to 40 points on that one. Right here is where your zone was created. Here was the retest right here. There's your entry at the top of the zone, 2064. Not even a 10-point drawdown, and you would have been able to catch a huge move down. Moving on to the next. I'm sure you guys are starting to see how well these work out. Right here is where your entry would have been right here. Right there. What is that? 832. Would have got a 10-point trim before getting stopped out, or could have even just waited and seen how price action was developing to stay in that trade to capture more. But like I said, you would have at least gotten a trim. Here's where your 15-minute zone was created. Here's your entry candle right here. Entry was at 790, 824. Would have got a nice 30 points out of that. Here is where this zone was created. Looking for the retest. Here's where the first test was. Entry would have been 819, 796. Would have got stopped out. Wouldn't have sat in that much drawdown. Let's see, are there zones up here? Yes. We're at 6 zones not working. Here's the zone. Here's where your retest was. Entry would have been 2041. Not even 15-point drawdown. Definitely wouldn't have been able to get a nice trim off of that before getting stopped out. And like I said, you could play this multiple ways, right? Let's just use this for an example. And you've even seen on the zones that didn't work or that you got stopped out, and then this bigger move happened after that. You could have gotten your nice trim, right? 20 points, and then coming back to test it, right? You could even take a couple lottos if you want, right? Because even looking back at the zones we've already gone through, you can see how many times the zone got retested a second time and then also had a nice move from it. So just, I know for me personally, like I said, initial retest is going to be my best bet. So going forward, here's your 15-minute zone created. Here's your retest right here. What's the top of this zone? 853. Oh, yeah, it's not even a 6-point drawdown. So definitely would have sat in this because it wasn't even 10-point drawdown. And you definitely would have captured this whole move. Moving on. Here's your zone created right here. Here's your retest of the zone. Entry would have been 841. Would have definitely captured a nice move. Nice 70 points. Moving on. Here's your zone creation. And again, here's your entry. Entry would have been 792. Wrote it up to the next zone. 792, nice 50-point move. Here's your zone created. Here's your entry. Definitely would have been able to get a nice trim off of it. Would have got stopped out at break even. Personally, myself, 90% of the time, like I said, once I get trims, I move my stop to break even. But then you can see the bigger move happened after. So, yeah, looking like that is actually through the whole week. So, out of 29 zones, we had 5 that did not work. So, 24 zones out of 29 zones absolutely paid. And like I said, I do use other confluences to take my trades. The RSI is a huge part of my strategy. But like I said, in this video, I just specifically wanted to go over the power of 15-minute zones. And this was just this week alone. You know what I mean? This isn't, like I said, I didn't go back and pick some random week or anything like that. So we're like, oh yeah, check it out. You know what I mean? It's fucking huge win rate, whatever. No, this is this week's price action, you guys. Literally just use this week and went through from Sunday to Friday and showed you guys the power of the 15-minute zones. So, like I said, if you want to learn more, if you're not inside my trading community and you want to learn more on my trading strategy and how I trade, check us out at Futures Trading Factory. So, with that being said, I hope this really helps. For anybody that has any questions regarding 15-minute zones, feel free to message me, reach out to me. I am more than willing to help you out in any way I can. But yeah, I hope I was pretty clear in this video. Like I said, after that initial retest or whatever, the zones just become invalid for me, and I'm on to looking for the next fresh 15-minute zone that's created. So that being said, hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.